Hello, hello. Thank you for coming tonight. Welcome to the movement. We are the movement, a motivational organization there to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. And we're so glad you decided to join us. We're a movement to move. We don't stand still. Hey, let me tell you something. We're about getting things done. And we believe so wholeheartedly that if we just help each other out, that we can all get to the next level. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living your best life and win. We want to see you win. We win it and we want you to win. So we want to share some greatness with you tonight. And you could have gone anywhere else, but we're so glad you stopped by here. Right, Annette?
Right. We welcome you tonight. We're excited about what's going to happen tonight. Our prayers that something be said and done to get you to the next level to help you win, like Anita said. We are a motivational organization and we are excited. We're excited. Every week we're excited, okay? But it's about winning. It's about getting you to the next level. It's to let you know that regardless of where you are, don't mean that's where you have to stay. So we're here to push you, to pull you, to nudge you into destiny. And again, thank you so much for being here.
All righty. Well, tonight, our discussion, you guys got the topic. Our discussion tonight is, am I my brothers and sisters keeper? Now, of course, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know where we got this topic from, where the storyline comes from. We're reminded in the Bible of the two brothers, Cain and Abel, and that's where we're setting the foundation for this particular discussion tonight, because we want you to take an honest approach to whether or not you're upholding to the responsibility that you have to your brothers and sisters. It's like, you know, we do have a responsibility, whether we like it or not. I know that we've had this discussion before. I think LaShavi was having problems. I was trying to help her on the side. We've had this discussion before where I know that when we talked about ships, about how we need to be mindful of which ship the person or persons that we're dealing with are supposed to be on, whether it's the friend ship, the fellow ship, the kin ship, the court ship. Everybody don't belong on the same ship. But when we get the relationships set with the right cargo and the right people on those ships, then our sailing is a lot more sensible. We don't have, you know, the wrong crew members on the wrong ship. So with all of that being said, when we learn how to put our relationships in order, then we can fully operate according to how those relationships impact our lives. Now, granted, everybody's not going to be your friend. I'm not trying to tell you to go out and try to befriend everybody. Everybody's not going to be your friend. Everybody is not related to you. You know, that there's some families sometimes we wish we could get rid of. I'm gonna leave that alone. But y'all know what I mean. Sometimes, you know, family relationships are tough. That's a tough thing sometimes. So, you know, but one thing I want to encourage you to do is to really like kind of tap in tonight. We're going to go into the discussion. I'm going to share the screen with you guys so that we can get started. Hold on, let me get my stuff going here. But we have a lot of information that we want to share, and we want to kind of get down to the nitty gritty, because it's a tough topic. It's a tough subject. Am I my brother / sister's keeper? Now, understanding the story of Cain and Abel, you know, the original story, we understand that Cain actually killed his brother Abel. He killed him because God favored Abel's sacrifice over his. God favored his sacrifice. Now, when we read this passage of scripture, we don't even really know what was so significant or what was so different. But, you know, when we apply this story as far as, you know, the nature of it to our own individual lives, we can honestly, if you're honest with yourself, you will say that there are sometimes, you know, think back to, I remember when I was young, man, must have been in like 8th grade. And there was a girl who I mean, she would do everything, and I mean everything right. Everything right. You ever know somebody like that? Have you ever known somebody like that?
Yeah.
It seems like they just don't do nothing wrong. They do everything right. And especially when you're in class and then they raise their hand, they're right. You get to cheerleading practice, they come out in their outfit and everything is so nice and so right. And you look down at your little scuffed up bobos. And and so there's a natural instinct that we have as people when we, especially as young people, I would get so frustrated. I'm like, she always get the answer right? How come she always got on cute shoes? How come all the boys always looking at her? And that little ugly green monster starts popping up, and we get upset, and you start you start wanting you start kind of wanting bad things to happen. Now we've all been there. Come on, don't act like it happened. Y'all know y'all have been there probably last week. Because I know, I'm honest, I'm a realist. So it's like sometimes it's like, man, I may not want to stick my foot out and trip you, or I may not want to accidentally spill some ketchup on your, nice white shoes, or step on them by mistake. But it won't stop my mind from wondering sometimes, like, how come I can't get that? How come I always got to be broke and busted and disgusted? How come my hair always crooked? It's like we start getting, we look at our neighbor, we look at our brothers and sisters, and we're like, man, that's true, man. Instead of like rejoicing with them, because everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at Brenda about her cookbooks because I'm the one who chooses to use adobo pepper and garlic powder all the time. If it ain't them 3 seasonings, every now and then I'll pull something else out. But I ain't pulling out no cumin, and I'm not pulling out coriander and all that stuff. That's Brenda thing. She gonna explore all the spices and all that stuff. With me, as long as it's got a little bit of salt and pepper and some garlic powder on it, I'm usually good. It pretty much tastes alright. So unless there's something I don't know how to really cook it, I'm looking up and I might be, you sift through the cabinet, and you know how you get that one spice rack that's got all this stuff on it, and the first thing that's missing off of the rack is the salt and the pepper and the garlic, and everything else is like full. It's like you never used those things. Well, that's me. I'm one of those people. Now, I have actually been in positions where I bought the stuff because I dreamt up that I wanted to cook. But I don't need to be mad at Brenda because what she offered up in her cookbook is a Class A event. I mean, it's like awesome. The presentation of it, the recipes, and it's her second book and all of that. So instead of me envying her, I don't want to kill her position because of what she sacrificed to do. She did it from the right place. So first and foremost, when we look at this particular story, we see he killed his brother. And we don't know why, but one can just about guess that it may have been because of a half-baked sacrifice. So when you produce something from your vision that's half-baked, and that's me using the good word, it's half done, half-baked, don't be surprised or upset when someone who you view as beneath you comes along and offers up something that may not seem to live up to the standard that you think it should, and then they get blessed with it. Because why? They did it with passion. See, for some of us, some of the stuff that we do is very easy for us to do. But how often have you challenged yourself to go to the next level and do something that's out of the pocket for you?
Yeah.
Have you really gone to that next level and done something that's out of the pocket, that's out of the box? Because most of us haven't. Most of us have not tapped into a third of our potential. But yet and still we want these grandiose applauses. We want, all these blessings, and we want this prosperity and all of this stuff. But, and I can tell you about me, I know for a fact that until I get over some isms and schisms that I have, I'm my holdup. And I know that, and I tell myself off every day. I get in the mirror like, So you just gonna mess this up this close to the finish line? And sometimes you have to do that. You have to get in the mirror and tell yourself off, right? You got to tell yourself off.
Yes.
So instead of giving God a half baked something, tell yourself off. Have you told yourself off lately? Have you told yourself off lately in that? And I know I did.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I did it last night, sure.
It's like you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you still hold back. You don't exhaust every measure. You don't go and overturn every stone. Why are you sitting on the gift? Why are you sitting on the anointing? Why are you sitting on the talents when you could be putting them to use? Why do you think God gave you stuff like that? Why do you think he blessed you with it and not somebody else? But we get caught up in our own stuff. We get caught up in our own isms and schisms, our own life events. Life starts to happen, and then because we get so caught up, we fail to move past where we're, that snag. We fail to move past that, and we just stay stuck in that rut and say, you know what? I'm just gonna do this because I know how to do this. So I'm just gonna cook up these greens, and I'm gonna cook up this chicken, and I'm gonna cook this here, and I'm gonna take some pictures of it, just throw it in the book and throw it out. No, you can't do that. Because perhaps if you do that, if you had done that, Brenda, your book would not get the accolades and all of the press and all of the attention that it's getting. But you took your time and you did it with care and you tested your recipes. You had people come over and taste your food so you can get their reaction. I watched Brenda sit down in a restaurant and write down stuff she's eating in her little journal because she want to go home and explore it and try something different and put a different twist on it. It ain't that important to me. If it tastes good and it made me full in that moment, I'm good. But that's not my gift. That's not what makes me tick. But I'm not going to get mad at her because of the fact that she released her book and it's doing well and she did what she was supposed to do with passion. What I've got to do is instead of looking at her situation and saying, wow, she did that. God, why you can't do that for me? Why for come I can't get my class up? Why for come I'm still working on this thing in this February? Well, perhaps if you get up on time every day and spend the hours that you're supposed to, it would have been done by now. See, my passion, it's like I have a passion for it, but procrastination and laziness and all of that causes me to deliver a half-baked something. And I'm not going to put that before God because I know I can do better. And trust me, and sometimes God will try to get your attention, and I can about imagine, and he probably tried to get his attention. Said, wait a minute, King, you better watch it now. Your brother over here moving. You were blessed with this gift, he was blessed with that gift, but your gift can produce a whole lot more, but you ain't producing. So I can just about see it. And unlike Cain, I'm not going to go and offer it up and say this is my best because I know it's not. And when I know it's not, I'm going to hold it. But the longer I hold it, I'm holding me back. And not only am I holding me back, but I'm holding back the people that I'm supposed to bless with. Wow. So beware of those half-baked sacrifices because what they do is they cause you to have a reaction that is not good. You have to check your heart because your heart's intentions tell the truth. If you're not careful, you'll start speaking it. Because remember, everything that we'll be, become, or have, it starts in our mind. And that conversation that we have in our mind, it like infiltrates your heart. And before you know it, but out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you have to check your heart. And when, of course, I'm sure when we look at it, we can look at this whole thing because actually God asked him, he's like, after he killed his brother, where's your brother? It's like, what? Am I my brother's people? He had an unmitigated God to get sarcastic. Like, really? Really? See, his heart wasn't right. You have to check your heart. Cain was angry. He was jealous. He felt rejected. Why is it that when somebody else gets blessed, we have a tendency sometimes to feel rejected? Yeah. And when we feel that way, the best thing to do is to check your heart. Mm-hmm. Because you should not feel like anybody's done anything to you because somebody else got blessed or somebody else's business became successful. Check your own heart as to why you feel rejected. Because perhaps You feel rejected because you rejected your own self.
Wow.
He was jealous, he felt rejected, he felt neglected, and he was being sarcastic. He got a little snippy. What? Am I my brother's keeper? And as a result of it, I mean, we know the story. As a result of it, it's like, bruh, you just messed up yourself for eternity. You messed up yourself, and now you got to walk around like a vagabond. You are not, it's like you lost all of that. You had all this greatness, all of this wonderful stuff, and you messed it up because your heart wasn't right. See, this is where we have to get back to the passion as to why we do what we do. If you're not doing what you're doing, whether it's your business, your ministry, or your singing, your whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, if you're not doing it because you're passionate about it and you love it, then you are doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Because your heart is not in it. If you're not doing it for the right reason, then you might as well close up shop and go and clock in on your job on time in the morning, clock out, come home, cook your chicken and your green beans, and put your child to bed and get up the next day and do it all over again. Because that you put yourself in that cycle because you don't want to go outside of that box, and God is giving you something great. So listen, I blessed you to do something great. And if you keep seeing this vision and you sitting on your job, tapping the table and looking up in the sky, and then you find yourself losing 15 and 20 minutes, you're out of order. You're out of place. You're either out of place or you're not operating in what you're supposed to do, because why are you sitting there dreaming about it? I say that all the time. One of my dreams is to, and I was talking to some friends on Sunday. I didn't mention it because one of the other friends was talking about her intentions for opening a school. My intention, one of the things that I want to do in my lifetime is to start a school or program for kids who have creative minds. Creative people operate and think so differently. Let me tell you, I would be daydreaming so much sometimes in school that the teacher would count to 3 and have everybody call my name and embarrass me. And then they would laugh at me because I said I was going to go to Paris one day and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to travel all over the world. They'd be like, well, who's laughing now? Because guess what? I did all those things 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 times till there's 0. But the thing is, I was a kid who had dreams. And instead of killing a kid's dreams and instead of ridiculing a kid for being creative because you don't understand why they finish their work early so they can tap out a beat on the desk. You don't understand why, like I used to rock and hum because I would hear songs in my mind. My mama said that when I was like 3. She took me out of a school one time because I would wake up in the middle of the night singing songs in my sleep. You know, Black people didn't know no better. She thought the school would drive me crazy. So she took me out of the school, but, nobody thought to really see. I probably could have been something crazy, but, some little rocket scientist or something, you never know. But at the end of the day, I followed my heart with creativity. And I'm a person who works both sides of the brain. So my mind is always going. People see me all the time. I'm tapping and I'm thinking. She's like, I can see it. My friend said, I can see it. You're tapping your foot. You're hearing a song on one side. And on the other side, you got plates spinning because you got all these business ideas. And I'm like, and that's true. My mind is constantly going. It's hard for me to even go to sleep at night. So what I have to learn to do is redirect all of that energy. And instead of being lazy and procrastinating and putting things off that I need to do right now, I have to check my heart and make sure that my sacrifice is not half-baked.
That's so
because,
right.
Because the thing is, this is another point. You have to give your best for optimal outcome. Whatever you put in it is what you're going to get out of it.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Whatever you sow is what you're going to reap.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. So now we're looking at this original story. This is the original story. He killed his brother because he gave a half-baked sacrifice and God accepted Abel's over his. He favored Abel. So he killed his brother. His heart was in the wrong place. He got sarcastic with God. because he didn't give his best.
Mm.
Got sarcastic and just lost all of the great blessings that he could have had because he got a little slip out of his mouth instead of checking himself.
Yes.
So when we talk about this particular thing here, am I my brothers or sisters keeper? This is some stuff we have to check first. We have to check ourselves first. We have to take it all the way back to the basics. All righty.
When we turn our backs, when you look at that story, you see where he literally turned his back against his brother. And sometimes we're the same way. We turn our back. And we often don't think people are good enough or they're not worthy of our time. So we have so many different reasons that we'll turn our backs and like people don't matter, but we are our sister keeper. Now, sometimes it's very hard to be your sister, your brother keeper. Some people are very hard to keep, and like a better words, to motivate, but we have a responsibility to do that. We fail to fulfill our responsibilities. We fail to do the things that we must do. And we have our reasons. Sometimes, like I said earlier, sometimes we don't think people are worthy enough. Sometimes we don't have time. We're too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we just don't think that person is worth our time. But we have that responsibility. And that's what Cain and Abel, he failed to his brother because he didn't think he was worthy simply because of the fact of the sacrifice. And so often we don't think people are worthy because where they're from, because of education, or whatever the case may be. But we have to fulfill what God has given us. When he gives us gifts and talents, it's not just so we can go around and brag about it. But God puts certain things in us so we can be a blessing to somebody else. So if you would just type this, I want to be a blessing. If you would just type, I want to be a blessing. Because that's our obligation. That's why God put us here. You have to fulfill your responsibility to people. And one of the reasons why is because what they need, you may have.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so much on the inside, and God didn't just give it to us to just keep it bottled up. He gave it to us so we can share and we can help somebody else fulfill. While we're fulfilling our responsibility, we're going to help somebody else fulfill their responsibility. Mm-hmm. So when God put it on the inside, you got to give it out. And I have been times in my life when I remember this one particular time, and I knew, I felt it in my spirit, I was supposed to give this person some money. So to be honest, it was $50. Now, I know $50 is not that much, but I told myself every reason why I did not give that person this money. And even years later, and I said, God, before you take me off this earth, I'm going to give her that money. Because I had that responsibility. You have a responsibility. There have been people, even today on the phone, I was talking to this lady, and normally on my job, I don't really talk about God unless they start talking about, and then that give me the open door. And, and she began to share some of the things that she was going through. And so at that moment, I felt it was my responsibility to share with her. And I told her these words. I said, don't allow life to kill you. Because if you're not careful, life will kill you. Your blood pressure high, you're this or that, you're worrying, you're frustrated. And it don't matter at the end of the day. I told her, I said, you do know if you die tomorrow, if you die today, the sun are still going to shine tomorrow. I said, the world not going to stop spinning because you're no longer here. Mm-hmm. So those of us are here, and what God had put in you, give it. I know sometimes people are hard to talk to. I know family members, sometimes it's hard, but we have a responsibility. I have even walked in stores and for whatever reason, people just start telling you their story. You don't even know them. They tell you all their business. Mm-hmm. But at times I feel that I have a responsibility to give back what God has given me. And we have to not turn our backs. And I'm sure there have been times everybody have felt this way. When you walk away from a situation, you say, I should have. Why I didn't tell her? Why I didn't tell them? You know, there are reasons. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes, like I say, we don't think that they're worthy. There's so many reasons why we turn our back and we don't do what we've been called to do.
You know,
But
one of the most horrible things too in there, and this has happened to me before. I know this has happened to somebody else, where it was on your mind to call somebody, and then God sees fit to call them home,
yeah,
and you think to yourself like,
yeah,
man, I was thinking about her last week, and I was going to call her, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, yep, yep. You're right. And I just firmly believe God put that on our hearts, and when He does, make it a point. Because I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do it in a minute. I may think about it the next day. I am so guilty of that. But maybe He wants you to pick up that phone, and maybe because somebody may be contemplating suicide. I read something on Facebook from this pastor a couple of Sundays ago, and he was saying how this gentleman happened to tune into his show, his service, and he talked about. He said there's somebody that's getting ready to commit suicide, and about an hour later, he actually said something in it and told the pastor, say, you stop the funeral. So what you have on the inside of you, you may be one of those that'll stop a funeral. You may be one of those who that person may be at their wit's end and they don't know what to do. Because see, you can only pray so much, you can only fast so much. Sometimes you pray till you don't have any more words to say. And that one, God is saying that one person, and they'll just say, girl, how you doing? I was thinking about you. I've called people and start talking to them and they just break out, start crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. But that's because we have that responsibility. We can't turn our backs, y'all. As much as we want to some people, even those you may not necessarily care much for, even some of the ones who hurt you. I saw my ex-husband yesterday, in fact. And when I saw him, I greeted him with her and I hugged him. Our divorce was not pretty, but I can't, I have a responsibility. I say I'm a Christian. I say I'm godlike. So you have to show that. If you're going to be in business, if you have a ministry, or whatever God had put on your heart to do, you have to learn how to deal with people. And everybody you deal with, you may not necessarily like. So you got to learn how to fulfill your responsibility to that person. And you can make a difference. So you are responsible for your actions. You can't worry about them. God's going to hold you accountable for you. You may reach out to a person, they may not even receive it. That's okay. You've been responsible for what you've been called to do, what you're supposed to do. So I just declare, don't turn your backs. Because even in my life, people have turned their backs. And there were times when I was devastated. There was times I didn't know what to do. And all I needed was a kind word, a hello, how you doing? I've been thinking about you. And I can say that because I walked through it. And that's one of the most hurting things when there's nobody there when you need them the most. So don't turn your back. That's your responsibility. Don't fail. Don't fail. Because it eats your life. Here, and I'm going to get that girl money about 10 years ago, y'all. And I still think about it. Why? Because I was supposed to do it. And I'm going to do it. And every time I see it, I cringe. Because I know I was supposed to do it. I had a responsibility. And obviously, she may have needed it then. So, follow that little voice that's telling you to do what you're supposed to do. The next one, Nita. Oh boy. Our sarcasm becomes prevalent. Our sarcasm causes us to become selfish and arrogant. We are some arrogant little folks.
You are so right.
We think we got it all together. Okay, you got a car, I got a hoopty. We are so arrogant and we think we're so much better. you have to be really careful. I was I was telling my husband about this young. In fact, my nephew, he wrote a rap, and in Bunnell, and anybody know, well, Bunnell is a small city, one red light. Well, actually, we got 2 red lights now. Boy, we done moved up. And he wrote this rap, right? And it's very good. I give him his kudos. So he was playing, and I was looking at his video. He's sitting there smoking. I told Glenn, I said, all he need now is a pair of dog shades.
A pair of dog shades where your shades
but don't allow, because you're being blessed, your sarcasm. And in this case with Cain and Abel, he became sarcastic. He, when God began to talk to him, I could see his name. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I the one supposed to be worried about him? Am I the one that's supposed to be looking out for him? Am I the one that's supposed to be looking in the garden and see where he went? I don't know where he went. He very sarcastic.
And was lying the whole time.
That's right, lying all the time. He knew who he was, but he really, he wasn't that. I don't really believe so much maybe he was so much mad at his brother. He may have been mad at God because how God received his offering, and he took it out on his brother. But you have to be careful how you treat people along the way. Because my mama said the same people you meet going up will be the same one you meet going down, and you have to be so very careful. And I was thinking about some of the things we say. We're sarcastic sometimes. We say stuff like, "I'm trying to imagine you with a personality." Whatever kind of look you were going for, you missed it. You're not the brightest in the box now, are we? We've been. Nice perfume, you must have marinated yourself in it. So, we're being...
That's those nice, nasty remarks.
We're nice, nasty to people. Girl, you so pretty, but child, you can stand and lose a few pounds. Those are the things that we say. And we become sarcastic and nasty unnecessarily. And I don't know where that comes from sometimes. And a lot of times it's not even because we're doing so great ourselves. It's not even sometimes because we all got it together. We're raggedy ourselves.
But that's why, though. Because of the fact that we're angry. Remember, our heart is not in the right place because we look at somebody else. So we'll turn our back on each other and start to nitpick. And that sarcasm, it starts to spread. Like you say, hey, whatever you were going for, you missed it. But you did all right, though.
You're right.
You did all right. It's like, but you'll say something and it'll have a nice, nasty, and the person looking like, did she just insult me? Did she just kind of insult me? I know that position. I've been in that position before. With people, especially the kind of, and I know that sometimes this is some people's personality. But there's nothing I hate worse than when somebody walks up to me and they feel like they have to straighten up my clothes. I can't understand that. Don't straighten up my clothes. Don't pull lint off me, and don't straighten up my hair. Put it back. It's there because I want it right there. So don't pull it. I can't stand that. But you know what? A lot of times that's people trying to mirror you to them.
That's true.
And we're not happy with ourselves, so we feel like we got to fix somebody else up.
Yeah, and then you have those who look you up and down. You're like,
and it make you look at yourself.
You be like, okay, so, but when that happens, a lot of times, just in this situation, we turn our backs on ourselves, so we don't have to really see who we really are, because we're so busy trying to look and see what somebody else is. So you turn your back on yourself, so you don't see the real deal with your jacked up, messed up self. So if I cannot see me and I can see you, then I don't have to deal with my problems, because I see your messed up self, but I'm past jacked up. And so we turn our backs on ourselves.
You are so right.
At you. And so we have to be so careful, and we so sarcastic and nasty. I don't know how many times I've witnessed situations like that. Most times, well, it depends on my day, because there are probably 99.9999% you won't get away with that. Because I will share this. I remember somebody told me, I may have told you this before, and they said, so you getting married again? And she was a good friend, so I thought about it. I said, okay, I'm gonna say this because I really want her to stay my friend. Let me see. How could I not chop her down to her knees? So, and of course, this young lady was not married. And I looked at her and I said, at least somebody asked me. Yes. It wasn't the right thing, and there wasn't no Holy Ghost in that, y'all, okay? But sometimes you better be careful who you approach being sarcastic, because they will get back with you.
They will get right. Because everybody, let me tell you, everybody ain't walking with Jesus 24/7.
They're not. That's why I told you 99.9999. See, she too bad she didn't catch me on that point one day.
She didn't catch you on the point one.
But you know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure, because we have businesses and we have organizations and we got dreams and we got vision. So you're going to encounter people. So you're going to have to know. I would not advise anybody to say that to their friend.
At all.
The way she responded to me and the way I responded, but she almost got what she was coming to her. I shouldn't have been the one to give it to her, you know? And I feel bad about that. But one thing I do know, she won't say that again.
She won't say that no more.
No. No. So you be careful. You know, everybody's life is not your life. Everybody's walk is not your walk. You know, some of us had, you know, I had kids early. You know, some people don't have kids. You know, everybody's walk is different. And you cannot turn up your nose and snub your nose because they did not, their journey is not the same as your journey. So you have to be careful how you handle that. So sarcasm can become prevalent. I would suggest, just, you know, being a lifologist, that you don't say what I said to my friend. If, you know, learn how to be tactful, learn how to deal with people, learn what to say, when to say, and how to say it. So that's just my takeaway on that. And I just want to tell that story because I felt really bad after it came out of my mouth. But one thing I've learned, taste your words. Because once they leave your mouth, taste them, what they taste like. If they're bitter, don't say it. If they're sweet,
that's a good one.
Yeah, taste your words. Because when you're dealing with, because we're talking about going out, you know, we're talking about going out into the world and spreading your wings and, you know, doing these great things. You're a cook, you're a singer, you're this, you're that. So make sure you taste your words when you're dealing with people in your organization. Now I would dare not do that with you know, in this organization. But I wasn't in no organization. I was in the world, and she came at me and she got it. So, you know, that's the end of the story. So, Nita, next slide, please. Okay, your sacrifice is fake and tainted. When you look at Cain, his sacrifice was tainted, and God didn't like it. Now, the Bible don't say what it was like, but whatever it was, it did not smell good to his nostril. So make sure your sacrifice is for real. Make sure your sacrifice is not painted. It's supposed to be white, but it's painted with a black brush. Make sure your sacrifice is the real deal.
And that's where, when we talked about checking yourself, you know, that's where we have to be mindful that when whatever we're offering, you know, when we want our business to prevail, if you have a business that's about building somebody up, then you can't be known for tearing somebody down.
Exactly.
Because, you know, who's going to listen to you? Who's going to take your words and your encouragement when your practice has been to constantly tear somebody up with your sarcasm? So therefore, when you offer that, your sacrifice is fake and it's tainted, and nobody's going to believe what you have to say. Nobody's going to follow that. And it could very well be what you're supposed to do. That's why it's important for us to learn not to turn our backs. We can't turn our back on people, and we can't, you know, pretend that, you know, that we don't have the responsibility, because we do. Yeah. We have a responsibility, and we can't turn our back.
Yeah. And be real. Like Anita said, be real. Whatever you're offering, whatever your business is, be real. Be upstanding. Have integrity. Don't. I mean, if I remember some years ago, I used to go to a lot of singers. That was back in the day. You know, that's what we did. And it was this one group, I'm not going to call them their name. You knew they weren't going to be on time. They were notorious for not being on time. So, you know, make sure whatever you're doing, that you be on time, that you offer, whatever you say you're selling, make sure that's what you're selling. You know, I can't say I'm selling barbecue ribs and every time you come there, I only have barbecue chicken. So, you know, make sure you be people of integrity. That's a biggie. Because we're in a social media day. And the word back in the day, eventually the word would get out, but now the word get out real quick. Mm-hmm. So, you know, make sure. Because we did one Can We Talk on integrity and some other issues other ways to be when you have a business. Mm-hmm. So I can't remember, we did so many Can We Talk. But integrity was the big one. So make sure it's real and it's not tainted. Mm-hmm. That, you know, it's something the world wants. And then if you're real, then people want it. You know, people want what you're offering. But if what you're offering is tainted, it won't last long. And that's the sacrifice that he offered. It didn't last. And he became a liar and he killed his brother. Don't allow your sacrifice, your fake sacrifice and your to be tainted, and don't allow it to kill your dreams and to kill your visions, to kill your business, to kill your hope. Because of the sacrifice, he killed his brother. So don't let your sacrifice kill everything that you work for, everything that you dream. Even like Nita said, even from a child, how she was sing and hum, you know, her sacrifice did not kill those dreams. And if you're not careful, if it's fake, it can kill everything that you work for. I've seen it happen. I've seen people, talented people. There are so many singers out there. They'll never go anywhere. There's so many people who do poetry like me. They'll never go anywhere. There's so many people that cook like Brenda. They'll never go anywhere. So just be careful your sacrifice. Because we sacrifice a lot. I'm up all time of night. I'm writing. And Nita will tell you, I have stuff all jumbled up. But I don't give up. Why? Because it's real. It's something that I believe that we've been called to do. And so whatever I do, I try to make sure that it's real and it's not tainted. I try really hard to be who I say I am. So if you look on my Facebook, or if you look in our organization here, what we say is what we deliver. Not saying you won't falter, not saying that there are times, you know, you may not be totally up to par, but you're striving. And I'm here to let you know, don't give up. You're the real deal. You're the real deal. You just got to keep pushing and going, and your sacrifice, in the end, you will produce if you don't give up. So, Nita, I need you to. Oh, man.
Well, this is what happens when the sacrifice is fake and tainted.
Yes.
That's what we risk.
That's it. It speaks for itself.
We risk
yeah. That means you get cut off. Amputation is when a limb is cut off. And we need each other. We need to be attached to each other. But don't allow you failing your responsibility, your sarcasm, and your sacrifice, faking and change to cut you off from what you need to be.
Well, that's why Cain was afraid, because after killing Abel, you know, and he got all sarcastic. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, he was cut off.
Yeah.
And you know, you're afraid that if you know you kill somebody else, somebody's going to kill you.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And when a limb is amputated from the body, it dies.
It dies. Yeah. And
it was cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the potential and all of those wonderful things died with them.
That's right. Yeah, because even though you can get I can't think of it, but I can't think of the word, but it's a fake limb, but it's still not the real deal, because you've allowed yourself to be cut away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we live in a time, you need people. People need people. And then so many people think, I don't need nobody. I can do this all by myself. No, you can't. We all need somebody. We need to connect. I don't care how good you are. Thank you, Brenda. I don't care how good you are and what you do. You need somebody. I used to, one of my favorite shows back in the day was American Idol, and there were some good singers. But they needed somebody to help them with their voice, which is what Nita does. I don't care how good you are. I mean, you can maybe hit some of those notes and you may have those riffs like Mariah Carey, but you need somebody to teach you how to control that. And I don't know all the technical stuff Nita does, but you need that. And we all have to be connected. It is so important to connect. Me and Nita have been knowing each other, I would say Nita, but we've been knowing each other for years. But because of the movement, it got us back connected. So we are not an island by ourselves. You got to make sure you get connected. Mm-hmm. I need to be connected to Brenda, and I need to be connected to Stacy and Elena. I need to be connected to Sharon. That's important that I connect. That's important. I see faces on Wednesdays. That's important. I know somebody's going to be here and somebody needs to hear what we have to say. Not that we often say we're not psychiatrists or psychologists, but we're lifeologists. And because we've lived, we can share. So we're connected. So what we have lived, we in turn will share it with the world. And that's how it is. And then somebody else will share it with somebody else. So it's so important that we don't allow the amputation of life to cause us to miss our spiritual connection. So when we turn our backs, we fail to fulfill our responsibility. Our sarcasm becomes prevalent. Sacrifice is fake and tainted, and we risk spiritual amputation.
And you
so
don't want to do
that.
Go ahead. You don't want to do that. You don't want to turn your back on each other.
You don't.
The truth of the matter is that we need each other. We have a responsibility. We have responsibilities to each other. And the Bible says that we're to love our neighbor as ourselves. Now, one thing that I want you to understand is that technically our well-being is bound to the well-being of everyone else.
Yeah.
I know that's one that we don't want to admit sometimes. I don't need nobody. I don't need anybody. I'm good by myself. No, you're not.
Well,
your well-being, my well-being, Anita Faye Wilson, is connected or bound to the well-being of Stacey and Annette and Brenda and Carrie, Elena, LaShavia, whoever else is on here, Sharon, Yolanda. Our well-beings are connected. I do well, you do well. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how much you want to pretend that you don't, the truth of the matter is that we need each other. Type that in. We need each other. We need each other. I need you, and you need me. That's just the bottom line. And that's what it means to love our neighbor as ourselves. We have to get past all of this mess, all of the isms and schisms, the jealousy, the looking down on somebody else's gift. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The thing is, what somebody else does, okay, you might not necessarily need it in that moment, but there'll come a time in your life that you'll need what that person has. And when you have built a connection like what we built here, our community with the movement, when you've built a community of people, I can come on here and say, like saying to Michelle last week, you want to do your children's book? We have a person for you. Why? Because there are 3 of us on here who work with the same exact writing coach, who's also a publisher.
Yes.
So we're working with the same person. So we have somebody. We have you in that. I have a responsibility that your well-being is connected to my well-being. So I'm going to help you get your children's books done. I may not have kids, but I know people with kids who need quality books. And that's the bottom line. So we have a responsibility to love each other. Why? Because we're blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to bless you. Mm-hmm. I have a responsibility to keep my talent sharpened, because I understand that what I have, what I possess, is not just for me. God blessed me with what I have because he wants me to bless you with it. With your gifts, with your talents, with your money, with your vision, with your purpose, everything that you have is to bless somebody else. For what other reason would you have it? What other reason would you write quotes and that just to sit down and read them to yourself?
Yeah, you're right.
Because sometimes you'll say something that a person will read and say, man, that's go right to my spirit.
Yeah.
That right there. And so I know sometimes I'll read a quote. Sometimes when I get in the netism, I'll read it and I'm like, I wish I would have wrote that. That thing's so doggone deep. And the funny thing about it is, from a preacher's perspective, all of those who are preachers will say, man, that'll show preach. We've been looking for the 3 points in a poem and something all the time. We can walk down the street and see a billboard and throw together 3 points in a poem. Brenda say, I cook for others to eat. I write for others to read. Oh, you better preach, girl. See, that a hoop right there. Stacey said, we are all sitting here to serve each other in one capacity or another. That is so true.
Yes.
And that's what it is. Elena, you are here to sing for others to listen. So, I'm just throwing that in here. But the thing is, I know what my gifts produce. And I know it's not for me. What I'm going to do, sit up in this room and sing all day, sit up in this room and write all day and just read my own stuff and never share it? You have a story, and your story is to bless somebody else.
Yeah.
You've been through something, you've experienced something, you started something, you created something, share it. Iron sharpens iron. I need you and you need me. And perhaps you might share something that somebody else needs at that time that they need it. And then they come back, you know what? You were such a blessing to me. I want to sow into your business. I want to be a private partner in your business. I want to invest in your next book. You never know. You never know who might be blessed by just a kind word. You may have taken a moment in the grocery store and just decided to have a conversation with somebody. Those things go a long way because, it's not always that you can just pick up the phone and call somebody. Sometimes you'll find yourself talking to the person in the waiting room. You know what? Yeah, he left me. It's like you just never know. And sometimes people just might need you to listen for a minute. You ain't that busy. You can listen for a minute. So you're blessed to be a blessing with your gifts, with your talents, with your money, with whatever you have. Because that's the truth. That's what I'm here for. I have a responsibility to pay it forward.
Yes, yes.
When I help someone else, I help more purposes emerge. I help more businesses start. And one thing that you have to understand as an individual who, I know we get caught up in the fact that we have a dream and a vision, we have a purpose. Like, oh my goodness, God, God has shown me something so big and so great and so wonderful. But you know what? You're not the only one with a purpose. And when you pay it forward and you help somebody else, you're helping more purposes emerge. You're helping masses of people. But when you sit on it and don't do anything, and you turn your back and you get mad, I ain't gonna help her. I ain't gonna post her stuff on my Instagram page. She ain't post mine on hers. What? I don't get that. I deal with that a lot in the entertainment industry. I ain't gonna post hers because when I had released my song, she ain't post mine. What did you ask her? Now there are some people who just nasty.
That's true.
But is it really gonna bother you that much to help somebody else? Because you know what? When you pay it forward, that's a seed sown. And the Bible says God is not mocked, he has no respect of persons. That which a man soweth, shall he also reap. Can you imagine all them wonderful seeds? When you're sowing just a seed of kindness, and you posting something on your Facebook, you say, you know what, go pick up this book. You know what, check out this site. They put up some nice quotes called the netisms all the time.
Yes. Check it out, y'all.
Check out this blog. You know what, pop this CD in, check this out. You never know who you're blessing.
That's true.
So it's important to pay it forward. Stop looking for something to always be a pay to you. Because when your passion is right and when you're doing things for the right reason, all of the other things will fall into place.
Yeah.
That's the true test right there. Because
Yeah.
if what you saw in your dream, in your purpose, in your vision, if what you saw is all of this wonderful prosperity, all these blessings and stuff, then they're tied to how you carry yourself. They're tied to how you handle your responsibilities. You have to handle your responsibilities properly in order to see the outcome. Hmm? Hello. Hello. Another thing to think about is that our choices and actions are costly.
Hmm.
Our choices and our actions are costly. We're responsible for our own actions and choices. We will have to give an account for what we do or don't do.
You're right.
We have to give an account. So when
Mhm.
God called on him, he's like, where's your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? You know what? And I'm going to answer that question. Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am my brother's and sister's keeper. That's my responsibility because I have a responsibility to love you. My first commandment is to love God with all my heart, soul, and mind. He said, and I have to love my neighbor as myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I love me some me. And guess what? Since I love me some me, I love me some you too. Write that in. I love me some you. Because I do.
You don't love God? Okay.
Huh?
No, I was like, I just digressed. I'm sorry.
I love me some you. Some you.
Oh, you saw
Boy,
what
I
Brenda
love
said?
y'all.
We love you too.
I love me some y'all too. I do.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
understand that I have a responsibility. I'm supposed to have your back. I have a responsibility. That's what I'm supposed to do.
I have you.
Amen.
I have your back. Yes. We're responsible to have your back. We have to look out for each other. You know, we have all these women's programs, but are we really looking out for each other? Are we just coming together because it's a women thing? But are we really our sister's keeper? Are we really our brother's keeper? Are we really looking out for each other? Do we really, care? Do we pray for each other? Do we pick up the phone? Do we call each other? And iron sharpens iron. So you help me, I help you. Whatever you need, I'll help you. If you're having a program, I'm there. If I'm having something, you're there. On Wednesday, you're here with us. At any time you can pick up the phone and say, I need prayer. That's what we do. We have to look out for each other, help each other reach whatever destiny you have. So our iron is helping to sharp your iron, and your iron is helping to sharp iron. Because what happens when you come here on Wednesday, it helps us. It makes us know that we're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
And so our prayer is that when we talk and share with you, it's helping you to become more innovative and know that you can win and get you on the right track, make you think different, give you a different mindset, give you a different way of looking at things. So iron sharpens iron. It makes it, when iron rubs together, I don't know if you ever seen it, but like if you see like a sharpener on the axe, I don't care how dull it look. If you sharpen it enough, it gets that little silver look to it, and it can cut through anything. And that's what we are here to do, to help you cut through life, to help you cut through your frustration and your aggravating, give you a different mindset, to get you a different place. So we're axers. We chop. We help you get where you need to be. So your iron sharpens iron, and that is so important, y'all, that we help each other out. But we have that responsibility. We have your back, whatever you need. We have a never-ending I owe you. We owe you. You owe us. We owe each other. It's an ongoing thing. It just don't stop on Wednesday. When we hang up tonight and we get off of Zoom, we're still thinking about what we're going to talk about next week. We're thinking about what can we do different. We're thinking about some type of innovative idea we can come up and share, because it's a never-ending IOU. We're constantly trying to make sure that we pour into you. We're constantly trying to make sure that we get you to the finish line. You know, you're running the race, but we're trying to help you get to the finish line, because when you get to the finish line, you know you're a winner. So it's never ending. It never stops.
You know what? And here's the thing. I owe it to you to keep my stuff together.
Yeah.
Because if what I produce is what you need, then you don't have to worry, because I vow to walk in my calling every day with your growth and development in mind. I owe it to you. I owe that to you.
Yes.
And that's never ending, because of the fact that I have your back. That's a never ending IOU. I have to look at my responsibility. That's one of the most powerful things that Claudette gave us. Remember, Annette and Brenda, about creating the book, is that we created a vision board.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to say, I'm writing this book for you.
Yeah.
And we had to put pictures up of the different types of people that we're writing our book for.
Mm-hmm.
That's my responsibility. I have your back, and I owe it to you to keep my stuff in check.
Yeah, that's right. And we owe it to you to be on the top of our game, whatever it is. With your business, you owe it. The people that you're going to serve, you owe it to them, that you do the best, be at the top of your game, do everything you can do to serve. You owe that to them. It's a never end. It never ends. You're constantly giving back. And that's that responsibility. Because why? We have your back. So next meeting, I got you covered. I remember in the Bible, when Jesus was God was walking through the garden, and he was looking for Adam and Eve, and they were saying, told God I was naked. He said, well, who told you were naked? And they took fig leaves and they covered themselves. But see, we are not Adam and Eve, but we want you to know that we got you covered. We're going to cover you with prayer. We're going to cover you with information. We're going to cover you every Wednesday we come. We're going to cover you with, like I said earlier, innovative ideas. We're going to cover you with our knowledge. We're going to share. And what we don't know, we have other resources. We're going to cover you with resources to make sure that you get everything that we have to offer. Because we're not stingy. Whatever we got, we want to share. Because we want to make sure you win.
But you know what, Annette, when you talked about, I wanted to back up just a little bit. When you talk about Adam and Eve and how they went to cover themselves, they were covering themselves out of shame, because they knew that they were exposed.
Yes.
And they had gone against God's will and his intention and sin. So at that point, they knew that they were exposed. So when we talk about covering from our perspective, they knew they were exposed and they had done what they weren't supposed to do. So perhaps sometimes we end up in situations that, our heart might be in the right place, but because we stepped outside of the will of God, we're exposed in some areas. So me covering you, when I cover you, that's something that hovers around or over to protect something that it's covering. And I want to make sure that I got you covered to help you be accountable to your purpose. Yes. Because I believe in what you're doing. And when you're a part of our community, we believe in what you're doing. And I would expect the same from you, that when you see me exposing myself, cover me. Like, sis, I got your back.
Yes, yes. And to touch on what Anita's saying, that's the preacher in her, okay? So I was waiting for her to break the verbs down, but she didn't go there.
I would go to transitive and intransitive verbs.
But that was a very good analogy, yeah, that we'll cover each other. Okay, I'm here to help lighten the load. So we're here to make sure that you don't have to carry it all by yourself.
Now, I'm not going to take your mess.
Yeah.
But I'll just stand on the other side and I'll grab it and I'll help you.
Yeah, now we ain't carrying everything because it could be too much, but we're here to lighten the load. Because sometimes life can, well, like, sometimes, oftentimes life is, can be almost overbearing. And so sometimes you have to go to somebody and say, you know what, this thing I'm carrying is just too much for me,
And
or
just like Jesus had help carrying the cross, we have to help
yes,
bear one another's burdens.
yeah, we have to, even though Jesus died on the cross, that was his obligation, that was his job to die. But we have a obligation and responsibility to help you lighten the load. So many people, all they need is just a helping hand, a kind word, a prayer. Sometimes even, finances now, well, that's another story. But we're here to help lighten that load, because we don't want a person to get to the point where they break down because it's too much. I was talking to someone today, and a lady told me that she because of stress, she had strokes. So, but she threw me off. She said, I had 3 accidents. I said, you had 3 accidents? I'm like, what kind of foolery? She said that because of her stroke, and she was always worried and frustrated. She actually wrecked 3 cars because of stroke, and they took a license. But life will kill you if you let it. So what we're saying, that we want to make sure that life don't kill you. We're here to help carry the load, because it can be almost overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's almost like you're in a dark hole and you can't see your way out of it. So we're here to make a difference. We got your back. If you need to cry, if you need a prayer, whatever, we have your back. We're here to lighten the load, because we are our sister and we are our brother's keeper. That's our responsibility, and that's our job. And if anybody asks you that question, am I my brother's keeper? You need to say loud, I am my brother's keeper. I have that responsibility to look out for my brother and my sister. Because trust me, if you keep living and breathing on this side of heaven, you're going to need somebody. You're going to need somebody to talk to. Because we think when we go through things, we think we're the only ones. But that's not true. There are
You're not
other
the only
people.
one going through.
Yeah, they're going through, or either they've been there
Mm-hmm.
and they made it through. And so because we talk about we're lifeologists, we're sharing with you because some of this stuff we've been there, we've just gotten to the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are sharing with you our experience and how we made it and how you can make it too, and how you can get to the next level.
I will share another time about how you can overdo it, because that was my issue. I used to have the issue of doing too much.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, Brenda used to tell me all the time I attract the darndest people. My husband used to say I brought in a stray cat. Right. And he used to say it, so I was like, really? Somebody introduced somebody, he was like, oh, that's a stray cat Anita brought in. I'm like, why you gotta say it like that? But the thing is, I understood his point, but at the end of the day, I used to extend myself too much, and you can't do that. You can't overextend, but you do have a responsibility to have, the person's back, but you also have a responsibility to keep your stuff in check. That's the
Yeah,
main thing about this
yeah,
lesson, is
yeah,
that you keep your heart in the right place for what you're doing, so that you don't build up that ill intent and that your sacrifice is stinky.
yeah,
You keep
yeah.
yourself in check.
You're
You
right.
keep your heart in the right place.
Yeah, because your motives, what are your motives? You don't want your motives to
Exactly. You
change.
don't want your motives to
Yeah.
start, producing sour fruit.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep the fruit nice and sweet, because people need what you have. But if you mess up the whole crop and make it sour, nobody can use it.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
And that's the bottom line right there. So I just want to tell each and every person on here tonight, I have your back.
Yes, I have.
I have your back. Brenda, I have your back. I have your back, Yolanda. Ida, I have your back. Sharon, I have your back. LaShavia, I have your back. And Stacy had to leave, but Stacy, I got your back.
Yeah.
The thing is, I want you to understand that I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm not gonna stop building my purpose. I'm not gonna stop building my dream. I'm not gonna stop working in my calling, because I understand that there are so many people that need it. I understand there are so many people that need it. And it's not just about me needing what I'm doing, but I need to continue to connect with other people because I'm learning more and more. I start looking at the value. How often have you done this? Looked at the value in somebody else?
Oh,
Because it's obvious that this person is in your life for some reason. So instead of looking at them as to what you can get from them, look at them and assess the value and the purpose that they have for even being connected to you. Even if your paths cross, even if it's a lesson for you to learn, because everybody isn't coming into your life for the right reason,
yeah.
but there's value in their path crossing you. There's a lesson, if nothing else. But in a lot of cases, it's that that person has value. You have something. You, man, I didn't know you could do that. What? Really? Oh, I need that. I need somebody to proofread my stuff because I always have typographical errors. Or I need somebody, who can help me put together flyers. Or I need somebody who can help me do this or that and the other. I need somebody who knows social media. I need somebody who knows how to write books. I need somebody who knows how to put this together. Man, let me tell you, I wake up every day and I'm so depressed. I need some quotes. I need something that's going to help me through the day. Man, my husband's so tired of eating fried chicken and collard greens. I need something to cook. I need culinary foods in my life. Man, I'm telling you, there's value. And then when you look at the value, when you look at the quality in somebody, I'm gonna tell you something I saw the other day, and it literally blew my mind. I didn't even know this existed, but I looked at something. I think it was on Ida's Instagram. She made a blanket, a hand crochet. Have y'all ever heard of that?
What
Without a
is?
needle, without a needle,
Oh, no.
and it's beautiful. She did it without a needle, and it's like, what, man? Can you imagine the care that went into that blanket for her to sit there by hand and braid that blanket together?
Wow.
That's its talent. And I saw all kind of God up in there. I saw all kind of stuff like the prayer that goes into the blanket that could comfort somebody. People on their sick bed, little throws and comforters. Those things really, really have value. They matter.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I'm like, that's a lot of care that goes into something that you actually crochet by hand.
Yeah. That's
I don't
amazing.
want to braid my hair. I don't even want to I put my hair in 4 plaits every night or 4 twists. I don't want to do that,
Yeah.
let alone braid a blanket. So, it's like when I look at the value that
Yeah.
there's value in that. And it's like, it amazes me. Now, I just want one just to have it,
Hey, Nita.
but
Nita.
huh?
I'd have put on, she said, I pray while making my blankets.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I could actually see that. I saw that when I saw her blanket advertised on her Instagram, and she said that she had made it by hand. I saw that she was praying while making that blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine a prayer request that goes to Ida that says, "I need my mom to enjoy her golden years. Can you make her a blanket that she could put over her lap while she's sitting her lazy boy every day?" And the prayers that go into that blanket.
Yeah.
Or my loved one is in a coma. I need a prayer blanket that I can drape over her. That it has so much value. But then, those are the things that when I keep myself intact and when I look at the classes and stuff that we're building and how these classes are going to help people get past that starting point so that they can move forward in their purpose and start, whatever business and not be afraid of what happens when you get in the middle of it and it starts to seem like it's not moving, that you find that second wind and you keep moving anyway. A lot of what we have and a lot of our stories are tied and connected to that very thing to encourage people to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we end every email with, let's keep it moving. We don't have time to stop. We're in an accelerated time. Keep it moving. You might have a hiccup. You might have a heartbreak. You might have death in your family. You might have something. Things happen. They do. And I used to hear Vicky Curry say so often, Bishop Vicky Curry used to say, we cry as though, we cry because weeping endures for a night, but we don't cry as though there's no hope. When we have sorrow, it is for a season. The Bible says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So we have to understand that there's a season where those things in our lives get easier and it gets better. So we don't wallow in our shame. We don't wallow in our sorrow. We don't wallow in our sadness. And we don't wallow in the fact that ain't nobody coming. What do? You keep showing up. Because if you show up and engage, what is going to happen? You're going to win. So you have to just keep showing up. Even when nobody else is there, you just keep showing up. Boom. So I'm going to keep showing up because I understand the value in what we have to do. And it's hard. All of the blankets I've made for the babies, the baby will not sleep without a blanket. This is what the moms tell me. Because that's their precious little thing. That's their thing. It's like they feel connected. Because trust me, prayer is powerful. And when you're praying over that yarn, and you're praying over those, and you're making those blankets, whether they're crocheted or whether they're by hand, it's going into every fiber in that garment. I believe that wholeheartedly. I just do. I mean, I see so much potential just on here right now. I look at, I'm so like, I want us to do some great things. We have some, I don't want to spill the beans, and Annette and I need to get together and pull together our March segments, because they're going to be very interesting. We're going to twist y'all all around. But I don't want to get ahead of myself and start saying it, but there's so much stuff that's right here, right now, that I just feel that the masses just need to know exists. And as I get the information and the knowledge to do that, trust me, there's some people on here tonight that the world is going to know if I have anything to do with it.
Yes.
They're going to know your name, Brenda. They're going to know your name, Ida. They're going to know. They're going to know your name, Sharon. They're going to know. And that's just the truth. Because I believe wholeheartedly in what all of you are doing. And I want to make sure that I do my part to have your back. Because I am my sister's keeper. Period. All right. Thumbs up, Brenda. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, I'm waving her hands. All right, Sissy. So I want to open up the mic. So if anybody want to say anything or want to share anything, I got all the mics open. All the ones that want to be open. Anybody got anything they want to share? Want to say?
I just want to say sorry for being late. I had to watch Amber. She's running her last indoor meet.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, she hit her 200 at 7 o'clock, so I had to watch. Yeah.
That little girl. We saw that coming when she was a teenager. And she was sure enough going to be a runner.
Good boy.
And she was sure enough going to be a runner. Well, we're glad to see you. Oh, I see you still on grandma duty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we saw that coming.
Amen.
So, anybody else?
Yes.
Well, the baby got a whole lot to say.
Yes.
All righty, well, we're not going to hold y'all. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. And next week, same time, same place. And remember, to just continue to keep your stuff in check. Keep your stuff in check. Don't stop. Don't give up. Continue to show up every day. Show up to your vision every day. Show up to your purpose every day. And even if you miss a couple of days, get back up the 2 or 3 days after and show up. Because God knows I've missed a Menti. I've missed a many of them. And that's where I have to put myself in. I have to put myself in. I show up. That's important. So we're going to let you all go. It's the early one. It's pushing 9 o'clock. I'm like, what we been trying to do on here? So thank you all for coming. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank